Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever, there will be judges, the 144,000, the tabernacle of David, ordained to be the ruling class people, the ruling class government over all other nations, races, and countries. All right, the kingdom of heaven on earth as it is in heaven, ruled over by the Israelites, who primarily make up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that has the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing. Okay? There's no such thing as black people. The beautiful young lady you see is tawny. But yet you will still have someone with that lie IQ refer to her as black. When there's absolutely nothing black about her. Her skin is brown. She's tawny. All right? Damn near red bone. Okay? The woman on the screen, the hateful woman on the screen with the caked on makeup, I'd like to see her without makeup. I want to bet she looks absolutely nothing like she looks with all this makeup and these filters. But the hateful pale woman on the screen with her is not white. She's red. Okay? So no such thing as black or white people. Back to my intro. And to the Akwaf, the sisters that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And I got some videos lined up, starting with this one. They're all rather short, 2 minutes or less, and some scriptures just to bring it out and how the hate that Esau Edom has for us. As a matter of fact, let's grab that. I think it's Ezekiel 35. Yeah, Ezekiel 35. I'm gonna read verse 30. I'm gonna read chapter 35, verse 5 and verse 7. All right, chapter 35, verse 5 and verse 7. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right, so Esau Edom showed us no mercy even after slavery, and as you can see, it is a beautiful thing to see that the curses are falling upon Esau Edom. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. How a good portion, I would probably say maybe even half or more, of his women are desiring men of color, especially the Israelite man, especially Judah, of those Israelite men. And it's a beautiful thing to see it, because it's such a vexation to Esau Edom. So his women are divided, because you got women like this one, this heavily caked up, made up individual. If you wiped her face, you probably wouldn't even recognize her. Who clearly hates Jake. All right? Or if she doesn't, she's clearly faking a funk for her MAGA husband. All right? A lot of them do that. I'm going to provide some receipts for that. Verse 7, Ezekiel 35 and 7. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right, so the Lord is going to utterly destroy the nation of Edom. All right, so this Edomite here, his last name is Schaefer, so we know what that means. Those identity theft people claiming to be something they're clearly not. with scriptures, history, and the relics show you that they're not. Matter of fact, even the DNA, that's why they're not allowed to do DNA tests in their country. Flip side of that coin, though, is that DNA can and has been manipulated, can and has been falsified. And I've provided the receipts for that on multiple occasions. So you can always trust in DNA. But without any further ado, let's play Miss T's video.
Okay, so I would be curious to know what these students' standardized test scores look like. What these teachers are doing is raising anarchists who will likely never respect authority or be able to hold down a job.
That was Lydia Schaefer asking about Black kids' test scores and calling them future anarchists and potentially unemployable.
Let's talk facts.
I'm Therese Garnier, and I'm a journalist, and I base my videos on facts, not racism.
Come with fresh material or don't come at all.
Miss Lydia calls herself Conservative Barbie and also a Christian.
I don't need anyone weaponizing Christianity against me.
Yet she likes to make comments on Black people's videos
When you're Black, you're never really lonely.
when honestly no one asked her for her opinion.
Every time I see a Black MAGA supporter, I think snitch.
Since you like to stay in Black folks' business, I decided to get into yours. I see you like to drive and film at the same time. Is that why you have so many speeding tickets, expired registration, and an expired vehicle state inspection? Following too close to a vehicle, did you cause an accident?
I say this gently.
Well, you would think you would spend more time focusing on the road and less time making content, considering. Speaking of, is this your husband?
That
It would appear that he
fat-faced,
also
ugly
has
man.
issues with driving. Reckless driving, operating a vehicle without insurance. And don't forget the speeding tickets. Y'all are just two peas in a pod. Oh wait, I forgot. He also got a DUI in 2009. Did I get that correct?
They'd be in jail,
But they're not.
they're free.
So let's talk about your businesses. It makes me wonder how your coworkers or any of your clients of color at Salon Point in Suffolk, Virginia would think. Actually, here's some bad reviews for the salon. And this one's my favorite. Oh wait, shocker. There's no one of color that works
You know, you could pause and read those bad reviews on her. Okay?
there.
This is America.
Are reviews like this the reason your other salon is now permanently closed? So let me get this straight. You're no longer a realtor. You started a media company that appears to be gone. You co-owned a hair salon that's now closed. And there's a whole list of other things you have listed as your jobs, including empowering women in business. Well, it would appear to me that maybe you should learn how to keep a business first before trying to teach others.
What these teachers are doing is raising anarchists who will likely never respect authority or be able to hold down a job. They are encouraging the next generation of BLM, Antifa, and so-called justice activists.
Speaking of raising little anarchists, school shooters in this country were predominantly white. I put the stats right here in case you need receipts.
Pause. Right there. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. Because that seems to be the case when it comes to crime. White men are leading in that, in all violent crimes. But you would never know it watching the evening news or listening to people like her. Hold on. That just goes back to that projection. It won't let me go back. But oh well.
Who will likely never respect authority or be able to hold down a job.
That was Lydia Schaefer asking about Black kids' test
Oh, it
scores
started
and
again.
calling
God damn
them
it.
salon that's now closed. And there's a whole list of other things you have listed as your jobs, including empowering women in business. Well, it would appear to me that maybe you should learn how to keep a business first before trying to teach others.
What these teachers are doing is raising anarchists who will likely never respect authority or be able to hold down a job. They are encouraging the next generation of BLM, Antifa, and so-called justice activists.
Speaking of raising little anarchists, school shooters in this country were predominantly white. I put this.
There we go. Targeted and mass shooting studies of targeted or rampage-style shootings generally find that white perpetrators make up the largest share of offenders, often around 55 to 65% of cases, while Black perpetrators account for about 10% to 17%. I don't think that's true either. But either way, the white perpetrators far outnumber triple the amount of so-called black when it comes to shooters. Violent crimes are done by so-called white people. And mainly they do it to Jake, but they do it to other white people. I just saw another breakdown where they said that 84% of white deaths and white crime is to white people is done by other white people. But you never know that listening to people like Miss Schaefer.
Stats right here, in case you need receipts.
Bullying is allowed, just do it intelligently.
Not only is my spelling and documentation on fleek, but the next time that you decide to interject yourself into black folks' business, I would suggest that maybe you should focus on keeping a career first. Just an idea.
Damn. So we'll just let that rotate. This is Revelation 12 and 10. And it reads, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God, our power, day and night." They're constantly accusing us. And what it really comes down is to projection. All right. And I've already done that many a times. You know, they project their own crimes, their own inconsistencies, their own immorality, their own murder, their own narcissist feelings, their pedo, their murderous, all they project that onto everyone else. All right. In part 2 of this story of this video, because I'm going to do this in parts because I got so many shorts like this. I'm going to play the video about the white immigrant, all right, who ICE is not going to go after. He's probably out of jail already, who was holding 3 underage people in his apartment, and he was raping a 7-year-old girl on his balcony and for everyone to see. And how white men make up the majority of the people who go around the world to these smaller countries to collect up children and do these heinous acts. And what's you know what's bringing them down on top of just the simple truth is the prophecy. The prophecies of their behavior and how they would be and who they really are. Well, it's prophesied that they will be exposed, that they will be found out. Revelation 19 and 10. "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy." So the spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy, and we're prophesying, right? And the Bible prophesies that Esau, Edom will be the ruling class people at the end of the world upon the second coming of the Lord. It prophesied that Esau, Edom would hide his character. It prophesied that Esau, Edom would claim to be the Israelites. It prophesied that Esau, Edom, right, would be the wicked. And that the wicked are in rulership until the Lord comes and take them out of rulership. Okay? So let's get into some more of these videos. Let's go to my receipt folder. Some of these are found on my own. Many of them came from the beloved Miss April O'Neil. So we'll start with oh yeah, I can't wait to get to these. But we'll start with this one. It looks like Miss T got another one. But here we go.
They say black people athletic. Like, what are white people good at?
Good credit.
That's Megan telling a black woman a list of white people's superpowers. For those of you who don't know, my name is Therese Garnier, and I'm a journalist, and I post videos based on facts, not racism. And interestingly enough, Megan says being white means
Father-filled households, safe neighborhoods.
But I see you live in Missouri, Texas, and your neighborhood is predominantly white. So I guess that means it's safer, right? Well, actually, no, because your neighborhood has violent crime and vehicle theft rates that are higher. than a national average.
Wow.
Speaking of vehicles and crime, what is this? Driving without insurance, driving without registration, driving with a suspended license, operating a vehicle while intoxicated, underage drinking twice. There's a lot of issues with driving going on here.
Are we great yet?
Oh wait,
I feel
that's
like
not
Method
you.
Man. Get him.
That's your husband, Nick. Does this type of behavior make neighborhoods safer?
Staying in jobs.
It seems like little Nikki here is also looking for a job.
Get him.
Based on your information that's currently out there, you don't have a job either. But on your website, you claim to be an actress, which is very interesting because I had a really hard time finding any of your work.
Mattress
but what
actress,
I did
maybe?
find were your former employers. And I see that you worked at a plastic surgery clinic. Is that where you got your lips done? You also worked at fitness centers. And that makes me wonder how your black coworkers or clientele would feel.
Oh my gosh,
In the middle. If they heard you say that you feel that black people don't have fathers in their homes.
Yes, hold on.
Or that they don't have an education. Or 401ks. Just for your information, 68.2% of black employees participate in workplace 401ks.
Graduating school.
I also see that you have a bachelor's and a 3.5 GPA, but black women earn a majority of master's degrees by 60 to 70%, including myself. So if this is your list of why white people are better than black people, then it would appear to me that either you aren't whiting very well or black people are your kryptonite. But most likely both are true.
They say black people athletic. Like, what are white people good at?
Good credit.
You're not whiting too well, Miss Lady. Oh boy. So let's
White people's super.
let's go back into the scriptures. This is Psalms 58 and 3, because they project. And they project lies, and they project their own wickedness. But this Psalms 58 and 3 says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So you can't believe anything. How do you know an Edomite is lying? Their lips are moving like hers. Like I said, I love to wipe her face to see what she really looks like without all that makeup. I got a feeling that you wouldn't even recognize her. She doesn't look like the same person. We've seen the witchcraft that can be done with all this makeup. All right. And she wears way too much of it. It says that the character of a woman can be judged by her makeup. The Bible says that. Talks about the eyelids and yeah. But anyway, it's in Psalms 58 and 6. Because this is happening and kind of sort of, but it's really going to happen soon. This is 58 and Psalms 58 and 6. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh. Because, the Edom just keeps getting bust in his mouth. he keeps getting caught in lies. He and she, Edomites as well. They just keep getting caught in lies and revealed to their shame. Okay. Let's go back to the next video now. Which is, what is it labeled? Miss Mayday. All right, here we go.
Not enough people know about the fact that white boys in the NICU are called wimpy white boys. And the reason why is because they have a lower survival rate than their female and minority counterparts. And I think that really translates into the world today, because what we're seeing, the reason we're in the situation we're in with Christian nationalism and the manosphere and red pill is because white boys got beat at all their games. They literally, and I'm not saying it was my husband or his father, I'm saying the system was set up to benefit white men, and minorities and women started to fight for our rights, and people agreed we were a product of society. We should be helping society. We should be furthering, and women went into the workforce. Guess what white boys didn't do? They didn't come home and learn the other skills. So we surpass them. We dominate when it comes to academics. We dominate when it comes to college educations. Black women have the most advanced degrees percentage-wise in our nation. Minorities have taken over the jobs that those white boys would have been handed years ago. I was told by two men in my life, two men that I would have considered people I would have not thought to have said this, looked at me and said they didn't get the job because a DEI hire happened. A woman got the job. Boys, no, you didn't lose the job to a woman because of her female parts. You lost because of her brain. You lost because she's more organized. You lost because you don't know how to talk to people the way a woman does. You lost because you don't have the ability to prioritize and multitask the way women can. Women beat men at their own game. Minorities beat white people at their game. And this is what happens. The one group that is the most butthurt about having to work harder are white men. That's why you're not getting the job. You're not willing to put in the effort that the rest of us are. So sit down and let us take the wheel.
So let's quiet her little proud self down too. Let's give you the real reason. See, white men elevated black women to destroy the black family. Right? What do you think, that black women are smarter than so-called black men? If you really believe that, something's wrong with you. They're not. Okay? So-called black woman was propped up above the so-called black male on purpose to destroy, the family unit. And it pretty much worked. It worked pretty well. As a matter of fact, my age group, the people maybe 5 years younger, 5 years older, we were the first here in Babylon to be the victims of that, of the father, mother, the women divorcing, the whole stepdad or no dad thing. And Esau Edom knew that it was part of his project was to destroy us, but it backfired, as you can see. All right, it went full circle. And she's right. They are wimpy. This whole system was set up to support, the patriarchy of whites, of this made up thing called whiteness, of, white supremacy, and not of white women. You got to remember, miscegenation laws were created to force white women to marry white men, because if you go back in time, all right, to the mid 1600s, here in America, white women were choosing to marry men of color, mainly so-called black men, right, on the East Coast, in Virginia, on the East Coast. Okay, that's a fact. That's why they created miscegenation laws. Okay, because Esau Edom has to rig, everything in order for him to win. All right, and they constantly are accusing and bearing false witness. So let's get this last video.
Most people don't realize how important.
And here we go.
They lied to you and told you that the white man is superior, and you believed them without ever asking when that became true. They told you he is more just, but justice didn't stop slavery, colonization, or occupation. They told you he's more moral, but morality didn't stop entire continents from being looted. They told you they were more advanced, but their wealth was built on your land, your labor, and your resources. This idea had a starting point. It was constructed during colonization when Europe needed a reason to dominate the world. So they created a hierarchy. They ranked races. They called it science. They placed themselves at the top. And then they decided to export it through schools, media, beauty standards, and power. They didn't just colonize land, they colonized your mind. And now you question your worth using standards that were designed to rank you beneath them. But before all this, you were not looking up to them. Your history wasn't inferior, it was interrupted. And today, the same world preaching equality still decides whose lives matter more. So no, you're not crazy for seeing the double standard. You're just starting to finally see clearly. They lied to you and told you that the white man is superior. And you believe
So
them.
the world, not only his women, but the world is got him under the scope now. Scopeo on Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He's been found out. He's a false accuser. He bears he bears false witness, and you know, especially Edomite women. They've been the queens of that. All right, of bearing false witness against Jake. You know, calling the police, because what they really want to do is they're trying to get you murdered by a cop. Because that's often what happens when a white woman calls and sends out the duress signal, like the bat signal, and cops come and start, you know, give you the whole stop resisting, is that beating, and you know, and 3-4 cops have almost 1,000 pounds pressed on your neck and in your back or in your chest, and you can't breathe as they're beating you, you know, and your spirit leaves your body, or they just shoot you down, you know. Especially if you got a cell phone in your hand, you might as well have a loaded gun. All right. You know how many Jakes have been shot with no gun in their hand at all, with no weapon, or just a cell phone in their hand? How do you mistake a cell phone for a firearm? All right. You can probably Google it and see how many times it's happened. Okay. But one last scripture that came to mind.
This is a reminder.
And that scripture is going to be Deuteronomy 19, about the false accusers, people who bear false witness. This is Deuteronomy 19 and 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, if any sin that he sinneth at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. Because Esau Edom could just say whatever the hell he wants, especially an Edomite woman. Only the Lord knows how many men have died, especially men of color, especially Israelites, especially the tribe of Judah, just for a white woman saying, a so-called white woman, saying that he's touched her or looked at her. All right? When she knows she's lied. That, you know, I remember watching a story on the internet where this girl was asking if she would get forgiveness because she lied on 2 little on 2 little young, you know, brown men, and, you know, and said that they touched her or something like that, simply because she was jealous of their sister's dress, because her dress looks prettier than hers. And they beat and unalived, hung both those boys. Could you imagine the fear and the pain that they went through and that their family went through and everyone around them when a mob of white men, so-called white men, came, you know, probably with their torches and their shotguns, you know, beating and dismembering and burning and hanging these 2 young boys to death, all over a lie that some piece of shit Edomite woman said. She thinks she's got away with it. She didn't. Okay? It's, she's in the spirit world now, because that happened a long time ago. But the Lord, she's going to wake up into slavery, or she's going to come back. You know, it's a child, just to burn up in this fire, or die in the riots, or die horribly, you know, when society collapses. Maybe a pack of hungry, unfed dogs that the owners didn't have the heart to kill them, just let them go. We'll find her, you know, and rip her to pieces or something. It'd be, you know, who knows how horrific her judgment's going to be, but it's going to be pretty bad. Back to Deuteronomy 19 and 16. If a false witness rise up against any to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is, or women, shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make a diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So thou shalt put evil away from among you. So, Revelation 18:6 says, give unto her double. So it's going to be double the destruction, the pain, all right, the punishment come to you Edomites, you self-proclaimed white people, for what you have done and what you continue to do. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekahak, Radash, Kwam, Yasarala, Abba.